Hey, what's going on? This is Decide and Do 254. So I am sure that you've heard that the only thing in life that is constant is change. And that means a lot in so many different ways. But for me, really, it's life changes. So the profession that I'm in, it continuously changes. And for the majority of individuals, every 3 years there's some major change in our life. And we don't take that lightly, and I don't take change lightly. I try to ensure that it's very thoughtful, and I think through the entire thing before making some type of decision, and especially change that affects not only myself but my family. But change is going to happen, and there's some people that are like, oh, well, a kid should grow up and they should go to the same school from kindergarten through graduation, and the college that they go to should be right, close to home, and all this different stuff. You don't want anything, we don't want them to move, and you don't want to affect them. And I say, look, here's the reality. Do some people grow up their entire life and live in the same town and die in the same town? They do. And is there anything wrong with that? Well, that's a personal perspective kind of thing. I've lived in many different places. I've moved around many different places. I didn't, have the same high school throughout all 4 years. I didn't have the same middle school throughout the full, term. I didn't have the same elementary school. Or actually, sorry, elementary school was the only one that I did have that was the same. I just lived in a different town, but went to the same school. So, things happen, things change, and it is constant. There's lots of things that are going to happen. And, I look at, well, I was all right, and I survived. And I want a better, upbringing for my children than me. And I'm not trying to move them around, as much as possible. It's never my intent. It's not my intent to move my family around. There's just things that are going to happen, right? You have to be able to understand that. You have to realize that change is constant. It is going to happen. There are things that are going to, continuously change, in your life, around you, wherever it is. But as long as you're putting your best foot forward and, thinking it out and ensuring that you're making the best decision overall, that's all that matters. And when it comes to success, it's the same exact thing. I am trying to set myself up, along with my family and my children. I'm trying to set them up for success in whatever it is that they do. And sometimes change is necessary. Change is not only necessary, but you know what? Sometimes, damn it, change is a must. You have to change something for them to be successful. You have to adjust something for them to be successful. You might have to take them out of one school and put them into another school, or you might have to take them out of one college and put them into another college. You might have to remove yourself from one job and move to another, because that is what is going to determine whether you're successful or not. Making that change. And some people that, are harsh critics about change, I think, well, you know what? You probably haven't done a lot of change. You haven't really actually, experienced it in the same way. You might have experienced it once and you had a bad, oh no, and now you're tainted in regards to that change and the process of change. Well, you know what? It's a must. And sometimes you have to do it, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And when it does happen, you know what? You continuously reevaluate. You continuously look at it. And guess what? Sometimes you're going to have to change after you've made the change already. And, that's where I'm at with that in regards to making sure that what is going to make me successful, going to make my family successful, my children successful, etc., is ensuring that I understand that, ensuring that I know that, and I'm ready for the change when it needs to happen again, and making that decision for it. So think about that overall, and just remember, hey, change is constant, and it's going to happen. And the only thing in life that is constant is change. Until my next video, appreciate you watching Decide and Do.